Good morning and welcome to day 4 of the Fort Ross Dialogue. My name is Timothy Sean Kelly and I'm president of the Fort Ross Conservancy. We are honored to have an impressive panel today, including Jason McCannell, director of the Digital Atlas of California Native Americans, Bob Sam, serving as councilman and liaison for the Sitka Tribe of Alaska, and Kaylee Pinola, Kashaya Pomo tribal member from Fort Ross Matini, and one of my personal favorite speakers to listen to. I wanted to try to model the planetary realism that Governor Brown talked about in the first day of this dialogue, and share a few words with you about why the speakers and topic of today are very significant to me, and why I believe they are so crucial for all of us to hear and think about. You see, I was raised in Fort Ross. My parents chose a lifestyle that was inspired by a deep and visceral connection to the land. And they encouraged in me a voracious love of learning and acquiring knowledge. Throughout my childhood, one of the pieces of knowledge that they emphasized as most crucial was the knowledge of the native cultures that had lived in this region for eons. The first school I attended as a preschooler was the Kashaya School on Skag Springs Road. And then for the next 9 years, I went to Fort Ross Elementary. I lived more than a mile away from my nearest neighbor, a degree of rural remoteness that's increasingly rare in modern America. And for the first 15 or so years of my life, I rarely left Fort Ross. One of the juxtaposes about this place is that the natural beauty is so profound that it inspires an intense love of and connection with the local for everyone who's grown up here. And yet it is also a place that no matter where you come from, it demands that we think about the wider world, that we remember and realize how complex and courageous and creative and connected our species really is. As an adult, I've been blessed to have a diverse and unusual career, result of a quality Fort Ross education. But the common theme running through it is a passion for setting an example of how we can improve our educational system to ensure that the next generation is better equipped to protect our shared heritage of knowledge and natural beauty, and better able to respond to the threat of cataclysmic climate change in a rapidly changing world. Important plug, our educational programming at Fort Ross is excellent in this regard and worth further exploration and encouragement from anyone watching this. An interesting thing about education is that the more you learn, the more you realize there is to know. The more you become aware of the gaps in your knowledge and the things you don't know. One of the most common gaps in our educational system today and the general knowledge of most individuals in modern American society is the lack of awareness of vibrant and multifaceted Native American history. There were rich and complex cultures that achieved a sustained balance of nature or sustained balance with nature that is a much needed example for today's world. These cultures then had to contend with the most horrific mass death in human history, the genocide that the European invasion unleashed upon native populations. Now, this is a topic that is often glossed over in American textbooks, partially due to ignorance, but also because of the scale and severity of the genocide. It is, however, I believe, a history that we must contend with, that we have to confront and engage with. This is essential not just because of the moral reasons, but also because there are lessons in this painful history that are crucial for our species' future survival. Understanding the extent of what was lost and the value of what survived this prolonged and horrific event is the subject of today. And with that, I invite you to join me in listening to and learning from today's panel. Thank you.